Hello, it is good morning and it is a peaceful morning here. I don't know if you can see the sea, but after the storms of the last 3 days, it's very quiet and really rather lovely. But you might be afternoon or evening or even night. But the title of today's video, which is number 9 in the series, is Serving While Healing. And it became very clear to me. I'd been serving all my life. It was one of the reasons I reached exhaustion. I'd been giving and giving and giving and giving, and I didn't know anything else really. And I had to learn his healing, the strengthening in my inner being. But it became very clear after less than a year anyway, that I was not simply to receive, I was also to give. And little bit like when I had a near-death experience when I was drowning, and I was trying to breathe in, but I wasn't breathing out. And it's a bit like that with the spiritual life. We have to give out as well as receive. So although I was getting prayer at church and absolutely absorbing the Bible and really taking in his word, he was then asked me to serve. And he said, you must trust me with your healing, so you don't seek for it for yourself, and I will and you will serve me, and I will guide you. And the first commission he gave me was an old man in the village I lived in who was being moved. Everybody thought he was a tramp. In fact, he wasn't a tramp. There was a bungalow that he and his mother had had, and then she died. And he'd lost his direction. He'd lost his will to live. And he lived like a tramp. So he was moved into sort of sheltered bungalows for old people. And God gave me this commission to see to him, to befriend him, to love him, to provide for him. God was teaching me as well that without his kindness, without his mercy, without his forbearance, I couldn't do anything. And I learnt this through this man and through another woman who, by God's grace, I discovered had taken an overdose but not told the next door neighbour, and God led me there. So there were various commissions that God gave me, that God put in front of my path. People who were broken, who had lost the will to live, who had lost the will for good in their lives. And God had to teach me gentleness and kindness in order to do that. In other words, I couldn't do it without him. So there is no good that we can do, but we need that battling whilst serving. The building whilst battling. So I was building the good through serving. And just as the Nehemiah was brought back to Jerusalem to rebuild the wall, he had to battle at the same time and stop those who were trying to stop him building the wall. And we too, as we're serving, we will have to keep battling against those, the inner stuff, which is battling against, inner and outer, that's battling against our growth in Christ. So remember, serving whilst healing. But the healing is always going to be a battle, because even within us, we have selfishness, we have old patterns, we have old ways of thinking. They all need to be changed. But meanwhile, we keep our eyes on the Lord, desiring that we serve in his name and in his love. God bless you.